Hallo, ek is Edie. Welkom by my kanaal waar ons als saam doen. Is toch the same as mos? The answer is sometimes. Toch is very important. We express ourselves in uniquely Afrikaans ways using toch. You will sound and feel more Afrikaans when you master toch. The most simple part of toch are the nouns. So we'll quickly go through the nouns and then we'll move on to the more challenging things. Toch means an expedition or a journey. And then we have veldtog, which is a campaign. Uittog, which is an exodus or departure from some other location. Swerftog, a peregrination, and it's more like a wandering. A swerftog is aimlessly wandering. And then we've got staptog, a hike. Rooftog, robbery. Soektog, a search. Optog is a procession. Jagtog, a hunt. Aftog, retreat, but we'll usually say die aftogplaas, and that saying means to retreat. And then we've got jaagtog, which is a chase. The closest tog will ever be to mos is in the case where they mean anyway in English, or the Afrikaans in elk geval. So you can use either toch or mos or in elk geval in these sentences. But please remember that in elk geval cannot always be substituted with toch in a sentence. In elk geval often is the only thing you can use in a sentence, but there are times when toch and mos are substitutes and they can be translated to anyway, or they mean or imply anyway, and then this is the case where they are the same, right? So there is a subtlety difference between toch and mos for me. Toch feels more like in this case, toch feels more like a powerful statement, a factual statement, where mos often feels like, jy weet mos, but then there's sort of an open-ended question of, don't you? You know, mos, don't you? There's always that, but they are substitutes in this case. All right, so let's look at the first example. Jy gaan toch of mos of in elk geval nie nou stort nie. It means you are not going to shower now anyway. And you can also say that or write it as a question. Then we have julle kan toch or mos or in elk geval nie sonder my klaarkom nie. All of those mean you can't do without me. Anyway. So the anyway is implied there. You can't do without me anyway. Right? And then we sometimes use toch and mos for accentuation. One after the other, always toch being the first one in a sentence. So we have, jy weet toch mos, ek is altyd laat. Jy. Right, so that one is, you know, I'm always late. And you can replace both of those in that sentence with in elk geval. Jy weet in elk geval ek is altyd laat. So we use toch mos as an intense version of mos or an intense version of toch. You'll hear us speak that way. Right, so jy, okay, next one. Dis toch or mos or in elk geval nie waar nie. It is not true, is it? And you can say, dis toch mos nie waar nie. Yes, you can. All right, and then the next one. Die kundiges het toch wel of toch mos ooreengekom dat mense aardverwarming veroorsaak. Or you can replace either one of those with die kundiges het in elk geval ooreengekom dat mense aardverwarming veroorsaak, which means the experts have agreed that humans are causing global warming anyway. Right, so in these sentences, you won't always find it written with anyway, but the anyway is implied. So this is the case, where anyway is implied or written, and then elk geval can be the Afrikaans translation. Then toch and mos can also be used instead of an elk geval in the translation. Moving on to toch, meaning nogthans or nevertheless. Again, keep in mind that this is not always the case that you now have an English sentence and one of those words, still or nevertheless, is in the English sentence, and you can then translate that to nogthans, and then you can take out the nogthans and put in the toch. Right, so it's not always that straightforward. The translation is often paraphrasing, and it's a meaning that is implied, and you translating the meaning and not necessarily an actual word like still or nevertheless that's in the English sentence. So it's a meaning implied situation, which makes it way more challenging. So in this case, toch implies nogthans, which can mean nevertheless, or still when you translate it. So we have, nie teenstaande sy baie verpligtinge, het hy nogtans, toch, gehelp. That means despite his many obligations, he still helped. Right, so, but the translation can sometimes vary. It doesn't have to be exactly this translation. It can be a little bit different, and that's the thing with paraphrasing. Ten spyte van verskille is daar nogtans of tog eenheid in die organisasie. Despite differences, there still is unity in the organization. Terwyl daar niks dogmaties niet in die dokument is nie, het dit nogtans of tog kritiek van verskeie Christelike kerkverbande ontlok. And that is a mouthful. And it means, while there is nothing dogmatically new in the document, it has nevertheless provoked criticism from various Christian denominations. Right, so it's just a feeling, and the more you use toch and the more you listen to Afrikaans, because we use it so much, and I think we don't really realize it. When you listen to it more, it becomes easier. And then the last one, hy kyk weg toe sy instap, maar na 'n rukkie bring hy sy oë nogtans tog na gesig. He looked away when she walked in, but after a while, he still brought his eyes to her face. Togte, toch followed by te, can mean darm, the Afrikaans word darm, in certain circumstances. So you can go check up on all of the meanings of darm. But in this case, it means so. It's like to indicate intensity and size, so very big. So we'll use a different tone of voice when we use tochte in these sentences than when we use darm. Right, so we'll say, hy was toch te verlief op haar, which means he was so in love with her. But when we use darm, we'll say, hy was darm verlief op haar. So the tone of voice changes completely. Both of them will mean so in love. Right, and then the next one, sy is toch te pragtig. She is so beautiful. Of, sy is darm pragtig. So, tone of voice again, very different. And then, die hondjie is toch te ougat. Ougat is a nice word for cute in Afrikaans. The puppy is so cute. Or, die hondjie is darm ougat. So, listen to this clip and then try and copy the tone of voice, because you'll find us using both in Afrikaans, and it is that tonal shift that is very different between the two. Meaning is the same. Next one is a lekker way to use toch, and that is when it means asseblief, which is please. But note that it doesn't always mean asseblief, and you can't always substitute asseblief with toch, only in this case. So toch is more of it can either imply please when it's used by itself, or it can be combined with please, with asseblief, to make it more intense. So let's look at the first example. Vat toch net jou goed, or vat asseblief jou goed, which is just take your stuff. So that's like an aggro please. But you can combine toch and asseblief in a sentence. Then you can go, vat toch net jou goed asseblief. Just like we combine toch with mos and toch with wel in some of our previous examples, you can combine it with asseblief. Or you can say, vat toch asseblief net jou goed. And we use them all the ways around. Then we have, laat ek toch of asseblief eenmal in my lewe iets wen, which is let me win something for once in my life. So more of an exasperated please. Then you can say, mag hy toch of asseblief gespaar bly. May he be spared. So that's like a desperate please. And the last one is also a desperate please, which is, Here, sorg toch, or asseblief, vir my kind. Lord, please take care of my child. Right, so this is the way to use toch when it implies asseblief. The toch maar combo, I think, is the most difficult one because you have to paraphrase a lot. It's open-ended. You can't just translate to a word or a phrase. It relies heavily on what's said or implied in whatever sentence. So it can mean like go ahead anyway, nevertheless just go ahead and, or rather, so many things. So in the first sentence there we have, ek gaan toch maar my naels laat doen voor die vakansie. And when you look up the translation, they will leave out the parts I put in brackets. So you'll usually get the translation as, I'm getting my nails done before the holidays. Right? That's usually what the translation will be, and everything else is implied. But what it does mean is, I'm just going to go ahead and get my nails done before the holidays anyway. So that's like the implied meaning, where toch maar is, and that's what toch maar will add to the sentence. And then in the next example we have, as hy toch maar net homself vir 'n verandering kan inhou, sal alles beter wees. And it means if he could just restrain himself for a change, everything would be better. And then it would be, if he could just, and then in brackets, go ahead and. So that toch maar just gives that, well, if he could just go ahead and. It just adds that extra. But when you translate often, you will leave out the extra when you translate to English. And in Afrikaans, you will use toch maar. We love it toch. Toch is in everything. So, and then the last one, ons probeer nietemin of toch maar of steeds positief bly. Now, steeds, nietemin, toch maar, they all have subtly different meanings, but they can be used as substitutes in this particular sentence. And then it's like, we are nevertheless trying to stay positive, or we are trying to stay positive anyway. So I think this one is the worst one of all of them. And in this case, I can really tell you, listen to more Afrikaans if you can. And I can try and make something where toch maar is used a lot, like a written piece or a verbal piece, because really it isn't something that I can remember us learning in school ever. This is the thing with the toch situation. I can't remember learning this ever in first language in this way, explicitly. It was just implied, and then we learned it by hearing and speaking. And I think that's the biggest challenge with this. Lastly, ter versterking, which means just for accentuation. Oh, we use this one a lot. Toch. It's usually just a frustrated, exacerbated, fed up toch. So, ach, kom toch nou. Which is like, oh, come now. Right? Then we have, maak toch net klaar. Just finish up. Hou toch net op. Just stop. Wat is dit toch nou weer? What is it now again? Is the meaning, right? So, we love these. And then the words that I give there below is just more like exclamations that we use. So we have asseblief toch, which is like, oh please, which we use often. Then we have foei toch and sis toch. It's like, oh shame, both of them, foei toch, sis toch. I made exclamation shorts. I made 2 exclamation shorts, and in those I do mention foei tog and sis tog. So if you want a little bit more on those, go check that out. It's like it's got a yellow background and a red background with exclamation marks. There are 2 of them in my shorts. Then we have ai tog or ai togie. Ai tog. It's like, oh damn, that's a shame. Oh damn, oh shame. But like less of a, not a, oh shame, not that oh shame. Foei tog and sis tog is like oh shame. Although they can be used sarcastically as well. But this is like, ai tog, ai togie, oh shame, oh that's a shame. Like sort of that. Then we've got ach tog. It's like a fed up, exacerbated over it. Ach tog, wat nou weer? Like, oh, what now? That sort of thing. Then we've got vader tog, which is, oh my god. That's what I, yes, that's sort of that. Like, oh god. Vader tog. And then the last one is genade tog, which I really don't know how to translate. Mercy, genade is mercy. But we have genade tog. I guess if you want to be nice and not go with vader tog, you can go with genade tog and then roll the eyes like a good eye roll. Okay, so I hope this was informative. I hope you now have a very solid grasp on tog. Please ask me any questions if you still have questions about tog. It's going to take a while to work that into your vocabulary because it is heavily influenced by the way we speak to each other, and it differs between provinces and all of those things. So it is one of the harder things. It's not really a thing that you can learn with a formula or something like that. So, but I hope it helped. And if you have any suggestions or requests, please leave that in the comment section. Have an awesome day.